muscle cars, Steve McQueen, and the Zercher squat. What do these have in common? Well, they're all old school cool, and we're bringing them back. We're bringing them all back. So break out that 8-track, put on the Rocky sweats, and let's get started. Number 1, the Zercher squat. Now, you're in for a real treat if you never tried this one before. It might be a little uncomfortable at first, but once you get the hang of it, you're gonna reap all the benefits. What you wanna do is walk up to the bar, and you're gonna be putting the bar in the crook of the arms here, bending them and pulling it next to your body nice and tight, like it's your newborn baby. Get those feet pretty wide, and you're gonna be squatting down with a vertical torso. Your elbows are gonna be hitting about the inner thigh area. Once you reach the bottom position, ATG, ass to grass, you're gonna be pushing up to the top position mid-foot, get that full extension and squeezing the glutes. Congratulations, you just performed your first Zercher squat. Now you gotta remember, this is gonna build your upper back muscles due to holding that weight, your biceps with the isometric contraction, and of course, the legs. Exercise number 2 is going to be the Bradford or Rocky press. Now this is an excellent exercise for warm up in the shoulder, but also mobility as well. It's going to be working on upward and downward rotation as well as scapular retraction. That's quite the mouthful, and it sounds kind of complicated, but it's not. Once you do this exercise, it's a bit more simple than it sounds. So make sure you walk up to the bar and you're going to be grabbing outside shoulder width. This is going to be a wider grip than a normal overhead press just due to the mobility in the shoulder that you're going to be working on. So start with the bar clavicle position. You're going to be pressing just above the head, and you're going to be rotating, retracting the scapula back, bring it down to the base of the skull. You're going to be pressing up just above the head again and bring it back to the front position. What you really want to focus on is the upward and downward rotation of the scapula as well as the retraction as you're performing this. Don't just move your arms, make sure your shoulder joint is retracting back and also forward as well. That's really going to be working on the mobility and also the warm-up before any heavy overhead pressing you do later on in your workout. Number 3 is going to be the Otis Ups. Now this is a perfect abdominal exercise as well as adding some upper body push in there too. What you want to do is lie on the floor with your feet anchored, and the back of your upper arms are going to be placed against the floor with the weight held in your hands. You're going to be crunching upward as well as pressing at the same time, and once you reach that upper body vertical position, your arms are going to be upright above you. And then you can be reversing the motion back down to the bottom position. Next up is the drag curl. Cool name, and it pretty much explains exactly what the exercise is, because you're dragging a barbell against your body. Now that might sound kind of painful, but it's not, I guarantee it, and it's going to build those big biceps. Hey, you want to be an old schooler, you better have those guns to back it up. So what you want to do is grab the barbell in a supinated grip. You're going to be in an upright position, and you're going to be slowly dragging it against the body as you push your elbows back and as they flex. You're going to reach that top position, hit that peak contraction, get a nice squeeze, and then you're going to slowly let it down the body in an eccentric contraction. Make sure that barbell is in contact with the body the whole time, hence the name drag curl. Now the benefits of this is you're going to take the shoulders out of the equation, so it's going to isolate the biceps a little better than a standard barbell curl. So give them a shot and build those guns, old school style. The Scott press. Good old Larry Scott, the first Mr. Olympian. I actually got to meet him one day. He's a nice guy and he complimented me on my arm size. And if you know old Larry, he didn't need any help building those big arms. They were massive. But the problem is, he had some lagging shoulders, and that's no good. So he used the Scott press to bring those up. And the reason being is because this certain exercise takes the triceps out of the equation. Because you're not actually doing a press. You're actually more doing scapular retraction and elevation, which still works the shoulders, but also hits the trapezius too. That's why these are so good. God damn, those old schoolers knew what was up. So how do you do this exercise? So what you're gonna do is start with the dumbbells held with the arms at 90-degree angles in front of you. And what you're gonna be doing is rotating, retracting your scapula back, and then elevating the shoulders upwards. It's a pretty simple movement, but start with some light weight, get the hang of it, and in no time, you're gonna perfect this old school badassery. Oh yeah. Vacuums. The vacuum is an exercise or technique a lot of the old school bodybuilders used in the past, and they actually gave it credit for retaining their small waistlines. Is this actually true? Yeah, it is. It's actually strengthening your transverse abdominal muscle, or TVA. This is not only going to help stabilize your spine in a lot of movements, but it's also going to help hold your abdominal muscles nice and tight. This is why its nickname is called the corset muscle. So what you want to do is sit or stand, and you're going to be exhaling all of your air completely. And then once you do that, try to inhale at a closed airway. This is gonna expand your chest, but it's also gonna suck your stomach in. And you're gonna basically try to visualize bringing your belly button to your spine. Once you reach that position, you're gonna be holding that for as long as you can, and then, well, once you're done, make sure you get that breath. And then repeat. Small waist length, baby. Nothing better. V-taper. Floor press. Now this is definitely an old schooler. In fact, this is the initial exercise that led to the evolution of the all too well-known bench press. So it has its history, and in turn has its benefits. But what are the benefits? Well, it's going to increase shoulder stabilization. It's going to help with the upper half of the push in a bench press, the lockout position, and it's also going to help develop bigger and stronger triceps. Why is this? Because you're actually taking leg drive out of it and you're decreasing the range of motion and only focusing on the upper half of the push. So what you want to do is go ahead and lie on the ground. You're going to be taking it off the rack. You're going to be slowly lowering it down so the back of the upper arms touch the floor, and then you're going to be pressing up in a pretty quick fashion to the top position and get a nice squeeze. Congratulations, you did the first evolution of the actual bench press, the floor press. Old schoolers would be proud. Last one on the list, and certainly not least, is the pullover. Now the pullover has a long history of ups and downs. Almost every bodybuilder from the golden era gave credit to this exercise for building big rib cages, expanding the thorax, building chests, working at skin-tearing upper body pumps. But what happened? It soon faded out into obscurity. People forgot about it. Poor little fella. But we're gonna bring it back in a big way, because this exercise actually equates to flexibility and mobility in the shoulder joints. It builds those big chest muscles, and it's a damn good upper body pump. They weren't lying when they gave credit to this exercise. So let's bring the pullover back. Sign the petition. Pullovers forever. Make pullovers great again. You choose the tagline. They all work. So how to perform this exercise, what you want to do is go ahead and lie crossways on a bench, and you've been grabbing a dumbbell with a diamond-shaped grip. You're going to be slowly bringing it back behind you, getting a nice deep breath, feeling that stretch in the chest and the lats, and you're going to be bringing it back to the top position. It's a pretty simple motion, but you want to take it light to get used to it. And not everyone has the same mobility as others, so don't feel like you're going to get that full range of motion right away. Slowly work up to it. So again, this is going to build the chest, it's going to build the lats, serratus anterior, it's going to build the triceps, and, well, like we always like to say, time for a pump.
Will it build the ribcage?
Not really. They might have fibbed a little bit on that one, but hey, it feels like it does. So there you have it, the 8 old school exercises that you thought were history, but we brought them back. The good old days where men drank whiskey and smoked cigarettes after every workout. Actually, the old days kind of sucked, but the exercises were pretty cool. So, get out there and make sure you do the old school exercises, put on that Rocky Sweats, drink some raw eggs, and join us in getting buff, old school style.